Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today, and this is a breaking news story that emerged yesterday via Somerset Live newspaper. Richard Lexington Sutton is one of the richest men in Britain. Sadly lost his life after he was fatally stabbed inside his home. His wife, Anne Schreiber, 65, also suffered knife wounds and was in a critical condition in hospital. He created a chain of hotels and he's estimated to be worth £300 million on the UK rich list. But footage emerged showing a police chase that happened in the Chiswick area of London. And this was 100 miles away from the mansion where this happened. And the arrest of a suspect wanted for this murder. And they also say that they believe that he is known to the victim. But this has not been confirmed as of yet.
Yeah. Hello. What? Come on.
Somerset Live said that 3 hours after the shocking incident in Dorset, police made a hard stop 100 miles away in West London to pull over a Range Rover that it had been tracking for 5 counties. A 34-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of murder, and police later confirmed that he was known to the victim. And then later on today, the Sun newspaper has said that they found out that the person was living with the couple. So we're not sure of the relationship between them, whether he was a lodger or a relative. But the official police statement said that Sir Richard was a baronet and described as a charming country gentleman. And he owned a huge portfolio of properties across the country and 2 Park Lane hotels. A woman who worked for Sir Richard told Somerset Live newspaper, "What happened is the worst thing to happen. This is an absolute tragedy." On Wednesday evening, police dashed to the estate in the tiny hamlet of Higher Langham near Gillingham in Dorset after a call for concern was raised by a member of the public. They found Sir Richard with fatal knife wounds and he was later pronounced dead at the scene. His injuries were thought to be so bad that police officers initially believed that he'd been shot. Later on, the Times newspaper would say that the hotelier's Danish wife, Anne, was a psychotherapist and was airlifted to Southmead Hospital in Bristol. Meanwhile, the suspect fled in a Range Rover, and this triggered a police operation involving 6 forces. The car was tracked from Dorset as it sped through Wiltshire, Hampshire, Berkshire and Surrey. Helicopters were also scrambled as the car made its way at high speed into London. A team of SEO 19 officers, armed police, moved in at 10:30 p.m. in Hammersmith. They swung in front of the Range Rover, forcing it to stop. Officers ripped open the driver's door and pulled him from the vehicle, and he was administered first aid and an ambulance was called. The Met Police said that on Wednesday the 7th of April, police stopped a vehicle in Chiswick High Road, and when they approached it, they discovered the male occupant had a number of serious self-inflicted injuries. First aid commenced immediately and the London Ambulance Service was called. The male was taken to West London Hospital and his injuries have been assessed as non-life-threatening. Dramatic pictures showed the moment where police forced him from the vehicle and put him on the ground, and there is a pair of boots and jeans seen in pictures. Dorset police say that the man was known to the victims. An eyewitness, Maureen Kane, 50, who was at home when the incident occurred, said 40 armed police swooped on the area, and she said, "I heard a loud screech of tyres and then a crash. I looked out my window and saw armed police jumping on top of a car and aiming guns at a man and surrounding the car. He was a white male in his 30s and he seemed to be injured. It looked really bad. I'm not sure if he was injured in the crash. He was naked as they ripped clothes off him and pulled him out of the car. I was scared as I thought he was a terrorist because there were so many police officers with guns. 10 policemen surrounded him until an ambulance arrived and paramedics treated the man, who was clearly in some distress." An eyewitness later told a different news source, the Mail Online. The eyewitness said they cut off his shirt, trousers and wrapped him in silver tinfoil. They administered first aid, and somebody said they seen an officer go to the back of the X5 car and take out what looked like a defibrillator. The paramedics then took over the medical treatments while at the scene, and the driver of the Range Rover appeared to be conscious as officers were talking to him, and he seemed to move slightly. After maybe 90 minutes, he was placed on a stretcher with an oxygen mask on his face and placed on the back of one of the ambulances. A senior officer was briefing his officers afterwards, and I heard him say 5 stab wounds, which I took to be the injuries of the driver after they'd stopped. Police were probing if the suspect visited his father's grave earlier that day, and it sparked a breakdown. And that part of the information is from the Times newspaper. Sir Richard Lexington Sutton, who is a 9th baronet, owned 7,000 acres of land in Dorset, Berkshire, London, Lincolnshire and Aberdeenshire. He inherited his title in 1981, was 435th richest person in the UK on the Sunday Times Rich List. His wife Anne is believed to have 3 children, 2 daughters and 1 son, and she runs a London Road clinic in Dorset and provides physiotherapy and counselling to her clients. The clinic would not respond to any requests from the media. Sir Richard married his first wife Fiamma Sutton in 1959. Before they divorced, they had 2 children, David 61 and Caroline 55, and also 5 grandchildren. He later married Anne, who has 3 children from a previous relationship, daughters Louisa, Rose and son Thomas. Sir Richard bought his Moorhill County estate in Dorset in 2014 for £1.4 million. He owned a massive portfolio of properties, farms and hotels across the country, and 5-star Sheraton Hotel in London's swanky Park Lane. The millionaire had a sprawling property empire and thousands of acres of land to his name. His family have released a statement to say that Sir Richard was a caring, generous and warm man who genuinely regarded those who worked for him as part of his extended family. Sir Richard was passionately devoted to his company and its people, setting the highest standards and quality in the hotel's farming and property interests. MPs and celebrities have paid respects to Sir Richard Sutton following the news of his murder. 3 police vans remain outside the property at this time, and the Suttons live there with their 2 grown-up children and also grandchildren. A local farmer told Somerset Live newspaper that he saw the helicopter with a searchlight overhead last night, and the air ambulance arrived too. Detective Inspector Simon Huxter from Dorset's Major Crime Unit said, "Our thoughts with the family of the man who died and the injured woman at this difficult time. We are carrying out a full investigation to establish what happened and would appeal to anyone that knows anything to come forward. A cordon remains in place and a heavy police presence is still in the vicinity at this time." So this is a really sad story to come from Dorset about an old couple that have been attacked in their home. But of course it's very early to say the details. Anything you would say would be pure speculation. So we'll definitely give you an update on this story, and I really want to hear what people have to say on this. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And don't forget, if you're suffering from any mental health issues, there are many organisations for you to contact, and we'll leave some links in the description below. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Peace.